Hello there, I'm Landon with Order the Traveling Hats, and today we're going to do a little bit of an install video. I got another part for the Lexus today and we're going to put it on. I ended up ordering a ladder for the back liftgate here. I got it from NashFabCo and I haven't really seen any video reviews of that ladder even, so hopefully this will be the first one. I'm also going to kind of show you how to put it on. NashFabCo didn't really have online instructions, so I'm hoping they've got some in the box. I've got the box right here beside me. We're going to open it up now, kind of do an unboxing real quick with you guys, and I'll show you what's in the box, hopefully get the instructions out, we can kind of read those together, and then we'll get it put on. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so this is the box it came in, a little bit mushed, but I think it's going to be okay. They were very nice. I got a tracking number from them, and then it didn't ship for a couple of days, and I actually emailed them. They got right back to me and said that, you know, they were very apologetic. They said that one of the parts did not pass their quality control when it came back from powder coat, and they wanted to repowder coat it and get me the right part before they sent it out to make sure everything was right. So I was really happy that they took the time to do that, even though it delayed shipping the ladder out by a day or two. I still got it in plenty of time. I think it actually arrived here on the day it said it was going to, so it wasn't really late. So just kind of opening this. This is very well packaged. It's in foam and it's kind of wrapped in the saran wrap kind of shipping stuff, so none of the powder coating is going to get hurt. I think there's some instructions right in here, hopefully, maybe. Yeah, they're kind of in there. Let's see, and this says Lexus GX rear ladder installation. So we're going to set that aside. We're going to just inventory the parts here first. So this is, I think, the top of the ladder, maybe, I don't know. So this is a lot of stuff, looks like, in here. Oh man, this is really well wrapped. So, okay, that's a bracket of some sort. Lay that out there. This is another bracket, and it's got kind of a double-sided tape under it. So, and a little foam pad to kind of prevent it from rubbing on the body. This is supposed to be a drill-less, kind of fully bolt-on deal. That's why I got this ladder. This also has double-sided tape, really well applied, and a lot of it. So, kind of hoping this thing doesn't just double-sided tape to the entire vehicle, but we'll see. So, that's there. So that's these parts. Get rid of that. And then we got, looks like, the ladder here in the box. So I'm going to get rid of the box, put it over there, and get the ladder out. So I'm going to cut this. Open this up. They wrapped this very well. I hope you can tell. Yeah. We put a piece of kind of cardboard packing material up here to kind of keep it from banging around the corners. But it seems to be extremely well wrapped. And that's the ladder, and man, it is made extremely well. Now there is a little blemish in the powder coat right there, probably just from shipping, but that's okay. I can touch that up. Yeah. This thing's pretty well made. It's got self-retaining pins in it too, so that's nice. You know, they've got the little ball on them. So that's pretty cool because this thing's hinged. So we're going to set that there. We're going to move that over. Just kind of set him there. And then we're going to get rid of this packing material over in the box. And the other half of the ladder is underneath that. So it's packed right here, looks like. Yeah, normally I wouldn't cut towards the metal, but this has got cardboard here, so it's kind of protected. Usually try to cut away from the metal to prevent any scratches in the finish, you know. So this is the bottom of the ladder, I guess. This is, man, Yeah, this thing's well made. It's no joke. They weren't kidding around with it. Yeah, that's very well made, very well put together, and yeah, that's cool. Okay, well, that's gonna get us unboxed. I'm gonna get all the trash out of the way so we can kind of lay out the parts and see what we're dealing with here. Okay guys, I'm just gonna show you real quick kind of what we got, what we're dealing with here. We've got 1, 2, 3 different brackets. The ladder comes in 2 sections, right here and right here. This is the top section. You can tell on the website, and just it matches with the website. It's got a tread plate up here on the top. It says NashFabCo. That's kind of laser cut into the steel. The treads are all kind of have this cross-hatching pattern on them. I think you can probably make that out there pretty well. Yeah, they look to be pretty well made. They look solid. I think they're gonna hold really well. Kind of curious to see how it goes on, because it looks like it just mounts with a bunch of double-sided tape. So we're gonna see what that looks like. I'm gonna read the instructions and then we'll get started putting this on. Okay guys, so the instructions say I need to pull this rubber back on the window seal, and the first bracket is the mid bracket, and it's gonna mount here. It's gonna fit over the little pinch weld in the door and latch on that way. That's gonna be load bearing. And then it's gonna double side tape onto the rest of it. There's a hole marked in the mount for this little rubber grommet here for it to sit around. So we're gonna kind of position that and test fit it. I'm gonna clean it real good so we got a good place for the tape to stick to. So let me get something to clean it with. We're gonna wipe it down and then we're gonna test fit it. So the key with double-sided tape, you know, is always start with a really good clean surface so that tape can adhere chemically to your paint. That's the point, is it's going to make a chemical reaction to adhere to the paint. So you want it clean, you don't want any dirt, you don't want any kind of soilage at all between that adhesive and the paint. You want it as clean as you can get it. So just really wipe it down good with some soapy water and get it nice and clean. That ought to be good enough. That's pretty clean. Just kind of using a mild detergent here to clean this. We don't want to do anything to hurt the clear coat. I wouldn't use like alcohol or anything necessarily, but just some good detergent to kind of get it good and clean. So that's done now. We got a good area. We're going to test fit this, and we're just going to see kind of how it goes. This is the bracket. There's this hole here that fits over this grommet. There's a raised area around the grommet, and then these are bent over with a little kind of claw on them to fit into the pinch weld. So what we're going to do is, I think it just kind of goes on like so, and then probably has to scooch over just a little bit maybe to locate. Okay, that seems to locate pretty good. Actually, it isn't located well. Yeah, that's better. I like that. That's centered. That looks like that's where that's supposed to go. So, and then what'll end up happening is this rubber stripping, this weather stripping, will just pop back in place over that, and that'll all be good to go. So I think that's where that's going to go, and I'm gonna take the tape off now, the backing, and we're going to put it back on. So all of this is going to come off, all this backing. So really important to test fit this, because you're only going to get about one shot after you take all this backing off the adhesive. But this will do two things. Number one, it'll bond it to the paint and be pretty strong. This stuff's actually really strong. It's probably 3M tape, and it's rated to hold some ridiculous amount of weight once it's bonded fully. So, and then there's enough of it, there's enough surface area here that I'm pretty confident between this tape and it kind of grabbing the pinch weld of the door and being sandwiched in with the glass shut and everything, it's gonna be plenty strong. So just gonna keep working this stuff off. Almost done, almost there. We're gonna take one more little backer off here somewhere. It'd help if I had fingernails. There we go. I think I got it. Yep. There we go. Alright, so now this is all off. So we're gonna seat this kind of where it belongs. Trying to get it to seat over kind of where it goes, like so. Get it really kind of pushed down good so it's bonded well. Then I'm just going to put the weather stripping back on. Work that in on the back. So a little tip, the plastic trim on the back side of the door, you need to work the weather stripping back under it when you put it back in. Just notice that. It's a really simple thing, but you want it to look right. So you don't want that just kind of hanging out in there, flopping around, looking bad. It's a minor thing, but I think it's something that's worthwhile. So that all seems to fit good. So that is there. So that was step one. There's only 5 steps. So step 2 is to get the lower ladder, which is this piece, on here. And I think the way it looks like this is supposed to go is there's these ears on here, right here, and there's some slots cut in the mount. And it's gonna mount down, and then there's a clamp on the bottom. There's these 2 stainless steel screws, they're Allen screws. I'm gonna take them out now because we aren't gonna need them. They came with a lock washer, so that's really nice of them to do. So I'm gonna set these on the workbench over here because we're gonna need them in a minute, because there's a lower clamp we gotta put on. So they've done this in a pretty slick way, reading through the instructions, where aligning it is basically all based off of that first mount, and the rest of the thing, just the rest of the ladder kind of aligns off of that. So really important to follow their steps so that you get a good alignment, otherwise the ladder's not gonna work. So what we're gonna do is just set that in like that, and it's gonna kind of go like so. And then we're gonna open the door like this. Let me reposition that camera so maybe you can see that a little better. Okay, so what we've got now is the ladder is just sitting here, and we've got this lower clamp which is going to grab the inside of the door, and they're going to screw together like that, and you're going to just kind of use clamp tension to clamp this down between the top and the bottom, and that's going to hold it. So if you notice, this has got a nice piece of foam in all the bearing areas, and there's a piece of foam on the bottom of the ladder between the ladder and the paint on the vehicle. So that's all gonna help. We're gonna just kind of thread these in, and then we'll adjust them to tighten them. So should just kind of go like that. I'm gonna kind of hand thread them, and then we'll tighten them down per the instructions. They don't give a specific torque spec, just I think you just get it kind of snug. They've got a lock washer, so it should be pretty good to go. Yep. There we go. Let me get an Allen. Alright, so I'm just going to snug these down pretty good on each side and kind of clamp it together. It clamshells together kind of, so pretty straightforward install actually. A lot easier. I didn't know what to expect. They didn't have instructions. The instructions are literally 5 steps, so not a real big deal. Okay. Okay. And that ought to get that done. That's on there. Now we got a ladder. So let me get the camera moved again so we can get the top of the ladder on. Hold on. All right, so what we've done is gotten step 1, 2, and let's see, 3 done. So now we're on to step 4, which is installing the top half of the ladder to the bottom half of the ladder. So there's a quick release pin and a couple of bolts over here that we're gonna undo real quick. Pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so we're gonna get a bolt and a washer, okay? And this bolt and washer is gonna go through here. The ladder is gonna fit inside, I believe. Is that right? Ladder's gonna fit inside down here. Yeah. So the ladder fits inside down here, and the bolt goes in. And then another bolt's go in on the other side. And they've done this really cool thing where they've actually kind of put a little ear on the inside of the ladder. I'll show you that in a second. But what it does is it lets the ladder perch here horizontally. So you could still get to the back glass if you want. So that's another really cool feature about this ladder is it's not just fixed. You can fold it down and actually be able to use it to get into the back glass if you want. So really nice. You might even be able to, I don't know how much I'd trust that to load, to bear a lot of weight, but certainly going to be able to use it for that. So then what happens is when you set it up there like so, it's going to just sit like that, kind of. That's pretty cool. And it kind of, the way these little stops work, it's rounded on one edge, and then it comes down to kind of a 90 degree that interfaces with this little latch and supports it. So it actually becomes load bearing. So the next step in the instructions is I have to tighten these so that they're kind of so they make a hinge. Now I'm gonna get these pretty snug. I'm not gonna like snug them all the way down. This is a lock nut on purpose so that they won't come undone, but I'm gonna get it about that tight so that they're just tight enough to kind of still slide and work as a hinge, but be together enough that they don't rattle. I think there's obviously a little bit of fine adjustment that's gonna have to go along with this, but I think we'll get it right once we kind of play with it a little bit. Here we go. Now, we're going to test this and just see kind of how it goes. So, oh yeah, that feels real good. That feels really great, okay? So, the next step is step 5. This is the 5th and final step, and it's probably the most critical. Alrighty guys, so I've got the ladder here, and I'm trying to just figure out how this is supposed to fit. It looks like this sits forward more than I thought it would. And that gets the tape on the bottom to kind of interface all the way, so it kind of has to sit like so, and that'll interface it. So that's how it's gonna sit. We gotta kind of push it forward and down and hold it until it bonds. So we're gonna have to do that for a little bit, but that's gonna give us a pretty good bond, I think, all the way across, except maybe the very back. So that's what we're gonna do. That's where it goes. I think something like that. And then if we do that, then is this pin gonna, so that's the question. We got one pin here that's gotta kind of come out and not be bound is the problem. It's kind of an issue. It comes out that way. If that just, I wonder if we can bend this a little. That's what we need to do. We're gonna work on this a little. Okay, we're gonna try again. So what I did, I went and got this in the vise and bent it just a little bit, and now it seems to fit the way it's supposed to, the way I want it to, so that this will come out easily. And the double-sided tape completely sits, and I think that's probably as good as we're gonna get. Yeah, that seems to fit. So we're gonna do the same thing now. We're gonna take off the backing on the double-sided tape. This is the point of no return, so. Oh, double-sided tape is so difficult. There we go. All right, here we go, point of no return. I'm gonna press this on really good and hold it for a couple minutes, just kind of pressing it, making sure it's pressed in good. I want to check this and make sure it comes off and goes on easy, and that's gonna hold. Yeah, that's gonna hold well. So yeah, that's gonna work really well. All right, so I think that's about the install. I'm just gonna keep working this on. I'll come back on camera in a minute after I got this all done, and we'll go through it, okay? So that's the install. It's pretty straightforward. As you can see, we've got it secured up here with a pin. The ladder's solid. It rattles a little bit, pulls on that. If you pull on it, it's gonna pull on that plastic trim, but I don't really think you're gonna pull on it much. There's not gonna be a lot of dynamic load on it, so I think that's okay. And then when we move down here, you can see that it is bolted in. It's bolted in at the bottom, and it's secured in the middle. So this ladder is supposed to be able to hold about 250 pounds. That's what NashFabCo says, so I should be able to crawl up on it if I want to. I'm actually not gonna use it for that, believe it or not. We've got other uses for it. So I've got something I'm gonna put on it real quick and show you after I get it attached, kind of what I'm gonna use this for. And I've got some other uses in mind. I don't have all the parts for yet. I wanted to get it and get it on the vehicle before we kind of decided what we were gonna do with it fully, but I have part of what I wanna do. So let me get that on and then I'll kind of show you, okay? And that is it. I got a really nice kind of trasharoo external trash bag. This one came from Overland Vehicle Systems, and I chose it because it's made out of duck cloth. It's a waxed canvas. This stuff is what they make wall tents out of, like outfitter tents. When I've been hunting out west, that's what we slept in. It's super tough, very durable material. I actually kind of like the way it patinas in with these marks on it just as it ages. And if it isn't waterproof or loses waterproofness over time as you use it, you can just re-wax it. And basically duck cloth will last forever. It's been around since basically World War II or maybe even before. I'm not sure how old it is. It's also called sailcloth. It's kind of what they make sails out of or used to make sails out of. It's extremely durable. This one has a zipper in it that I can put my trash bags in or whatever else and keep them dry. And then it's got plenty of room on the inside for trash. And the reason I wanted that is because, part of kind of the rules of this overlanding and going outdoors and camping thing is that you pack everything in and pack everything out. It's really, really important to take care of the trail and take care of kind of the outdoors and the places we go, because number one, we don't want trail closures, and that's the best way to get trail closures is to go out and trash your trail and leave a bunch of trash on it. But number two, and probably more importantly, is we want to seek to preserve these things for generations to come, and they just really are so pristine and beautiful that you really want to try to leave them in better shape than you found them in. So part of that is just pack in and pack out. Now, when I had the Jeep, this is an addition that I got after the Gladiator, because the Gladiator had a bed, and I could just take a trash bag and I could throw that in the bed, and we'd be done. When I got to a dumpster or got home, I could throw it away. I don't want trash inside the vehicle and have to smell that. So this was kind of a solution for that. So it kind of allows me to do that. It's got some little baggies out here for some external storage. It's got some molly panels. I could put a molly pouch out here if I wanted to. I doubt I'm going to. This is probably how this is gonna ride, just in a really simple configuration. And it's just got some straps. It's supposed to go over a spare tire, but I just strapped it onto the ladder, and I think it's gonna ride just fine that way. So that's gonna close the video up for today. Pretty short video, pretty easy install. It's 5 simple steps. If you follow them the way they lay them out, it's basically gonna work for you 100%. And it looks pretty good. I think it looks great on the vehicle. It kind of trims out and goes with the roof rack really well. And I like that it's kind of angled here. so that it follows the body line of the GX kind of as it goes up onto the roof. And looks really good. Goes, like I said, really well with the roof rack. And I look forward to getting it out and using it some. So I think this is gonna be a really great addition. So guys, that's gonna about do it for this video. I'm Landon, this is Order the Traveling Hats, and we hope to see you guys out there.